while being less competitive than other handhelds in the market. The PS Vita holds an important place, particularly in the heart of those gamers who love independent or so-called indie games, or have particular love of Japanese style RPGs or graphic interactive novels. Tingles with flyby. Daily ASMR videos. Hello. Hello. Welcome to our PS Vita shop. We have many shops throughout Tingledom that focus on a particular game system or another, but this one is my absolute favorite, which is of course why I work here. This is the PS Vita. This is a wonderful portable game system that comes from Sony. It is an 8th generation system. It was released in Japan on December 17th, 2011, and then followed in North America and Europe on the 22nd of February 2012. The key physical features of the PS Vita are this 5-inch OLED multi-touch capacitive touchscreen. As you will see later in my demonstration, it is a truly gorgeous screen. We have 2 analog joysticks, shoulder buttons. It also sports a front and back 0.3 megapixel cameras. It supports Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and also optional 3G. Now, the library of the PS Vita is maybe a bit different than what you may have come to expect from Sony. Has very strong support in Japanese style role-playing video games and visual novels, and also Western style indie games. It is a smaller but passionate user base in the West, and a moderate-sized audience in Japan. It's not an overly popular system, with lifetime sales figures of 15 to 16 million units. But let's get back to the beginning, where the Vita was conceptualized and what it's designed to do. The Vita is the successor to the PSP or PlayStation Portable. So the PSP was made in 2004. Sony, after having success with the PlayStation and the PlayStation PS2, they decided they wanted to enter the handheld market, and so entered the market with the PlayStation Portable. They had mixed success. They took a fair amount of market share, selling 80 million units, but only sold about half of what their competitors, which the direct competitor was the Nintendo DS, did. So then, in 2009, that's when we first started to hear rumors about a successor to the PSP. But it wasn't until January 27th, 2011, that the PS Vita was officially announced. It was announced with the code name Next Generation Portable. It was a change from the UMD discs, which were used in the original PSP, into cartridges, which had either 2 or 4 gigabyte variants. The name of this beautiful system was announced on June 6th, 2011 at E3. It was named Vita for the Latin word for life. The purpose of the PSV Vita was to meld the experience of big budget dedicated video game platforms with the up-and-coming mobile gaming through smartphones and tablets. That's why it has the touch screen, but at the same time, this gorgeous, gorgeous screen. It was touted at one time that perhaps it would have the same power as the PS3, but feasibility dictated that it had to be a bit less powerful, or else it's been said that the battery would run out within 5 minutes, which obviously would not be ideal for a portable system. So that's a bit of the history of this system. I think now we should just take a bit closer look here. So we've got our D-pad. It's a one-piece D-pad, so all the buttons connect into a single cross piece. We have a left analog joystick, as we mentioned, and we have a right analog joystick as well. The other button we have on this side is the PlayStation button. And this is useful when you have the system on for returning to your home menu and the like. You can also see right here the little dots which reveal the speakers below. For while this is portable and does have headphone support, you can also use the inbuilt speaker. Looking at this side, we have the typical button set out that we've come to know from Sony, with the triangle at the top, the X at the bottom, the circle on the right, the square on the left, in this circular formation. information. These are right below the front camera. We also have our start and select buttons. The PS Vita logo is right here across the central middle of the console. It's in silver and it's quite reflective. It's not embossed or raised, but simply along the surface of the screen, as is the Sony logo up here. We additionally have these translucent shoulder buttons, a left and a right shoulder button. And of course, we have a power button as well. So let's turn it on. The first thing you'll notice is just the beautiful clarity of this screen. You can see everything in such beautiful detail. It is buttery smooth and beautiful. The touch is very responsive. Will respond to your touch quite easily. Now there are all sorts of games available. You have access to the PlayStation Store, so you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home to purchase games. You've got friends, messages. There's a PS4 link, so you can link it with your at-home system. It also supports a variety of media, much like the original PSP, as we can see with our videos, music, and photos. You can do email, you have a calendar. Another great function is the PS3 Remote Play, where you can play games from your PS3 remotely on your Vita. But of course, the key feature of the PS Vita is the games. So there are a few popular things that you can do on the Vita. Some I have preloaded on here, some I don't. So let's first look at Final Fantasy. So Final Fantasy X, this is a major coup. It's a great thing to be able to play Final Fantasy X on a handheld system. It's a wonderful thing to be able to play Final Fantasy X on a handheld system. It's quite wonderful. Another game, this is how I was showing you. If you hit this button, it'll take you back to your home screen. You can also see what else you have open. It's a fast game I wanted to show you. It's quite an interesting game, this one, because you kind of get flipped on your perspective. This is just a sample of that indie sort of game that I was talking about. What happened with the Vita is that there was at first a fair bit of first-party support and major third-party support, but the Vita didn't do as well as a lot of other people anticipated, and so a lot of these developers stopped making games for it. So to kind of recoup their efforts, Sony approached a lot of indie developers to see if they might be interested in developing games for it. And so it's a real great system for those who like less traditional games and who really enjoy indie games. So this is one example. Not that one. I always forget the button. Shoulder button. There we go. I figured it out eventually. So what happens, you can see when you hit the shoulder button, it actually rotates the whole world around. And so there's all sorts of different puzzles having to do with that. So quite an interesting game. The most popular games for the Vita were Uncharted, that was a Sony title, Golden Abyss, very popular. Also Persona 4, Golden, and Gravity Rush. But there's also lots of very lesser known titles which are absolutely wonderful games. So it's a great system for those reasons. So now let's go ahead and I'll just show you around the sides and the back. And that will be it, okay? I know, just a little look at it. Just a little look at it. So first, if we look at the top here, we've got the power button. We've also got room here for the PS Vita memory cards. This is thought to be one of the reasons why it was not quite as successful, was due to the cost of their own proprietary memory cards. And then you also have a little slot there for another connection. You can see your volume up and down, and at this angle we can see the left and right on our shoulder buttons. It's funny how at the top they look pretty opaque, but from the side they're quite see-through. I love the styling on the back of the Vita. We can see here this repeating square, triangle, circle, X, just repeated again and again across the back. We also have our second camera at the back here. On the bottom, you have your slot for your charger to plug in, and also where you can plug in either headphones or a headset. And then these little pads to help hold your fingers, so when you're holding your system, you can hold it in comfort. And that is the PS Vita. We do have quite a number in stock, so what do you think? Would you like one?